Thank you so much, Diane. Guys, for folks who are here, thank you for coming in person. It's been a long 2.5 years. Yeah. Yes, it has. Right? I really missed being in front of a crowd. There's something that is so much better about talking about what I love, NCL, to a crowd of actual people as opposed to black boxes on Zoom because no one's turned on their camera. Folks at home, that's not a slight to all of you guys. I know that you are sitting at home with a glass of wine, and all of you guys will probably be going home to do that too. We could find some wine better than water. Okay, so first question for all of you guys, before I get into talking about NCL and kind of the ins and outs of cruising with us and why you should think about coming with us, who here has traveled since the pandemic? Okay, that's a better response than what I got Monday, so I love that. Did you guys love your trips?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Anyone been on NCL?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And has anybody cruised since the pandemic? Lots of you guys. Okay, great. So for those of you who haven't cruised since the pandemic, let's start with a bit of a reminder of what cruising NCL is all about, because frankly, for some of us, it's been a while. I'm also not. Oh yes, it works. Oh, maybe. So I'm not a tech savvy millennial, but that's supposed to play a video. And let's see what happens. Nope. No video. It's good music. It's a great song. Huh? Yeah, so that's all the chip. That's okay. So you guys have cruised with NCL. I could mime the video for you, I could sing it, but frankly, you would all probably leave immediately. I have been asked not to come back to various karaoke ones. So that's okay. Let's talk about what cruising with NCL is. Oh, we have the music again. Sam, is that you? You know, before you guys got here, we tested this and it worked without any issues. Of course. That's always how it goes. That's okay. We don't need a video. I've got 2 more coming up later. So at NCL, we are known for our freestyle experience. That is what we are really good at. Way back in the year 2002, our CEO at the time was asked to pick his dinner time before getting on a cruise. And he thought, why am I picking dinner time 6 months out for a cruise that I haven't even taken? What if I want to stay longer at port? What if I want chicken wings at 2 a.m.? Why do I have to pick right now? And that was actually how freestyle cruising was born. And since then, we've really expanded. We are going to let you guys, from a bare minimum, pick what time you want to eat dinner, but we're going to do a lot more than that. It's all about choice, service, and experience. I can guarantee you, you will not run out of things to do. You will have more places to eat than you can imagine on board the ship, and it's your vacation. Everything we do on board those ships is curated specifically to you guys and making sure that you have a really phenomenal time. That being said, we are really about the food. We have exceptional cuisine on board, up to 22 different dining options, including our bars on board any of our ships. You can dress up, you can go casual. If you want to celebrate every single special occasion we've missed in the last 2.5 years, you're more than welcome to it. I know men love packing a tuxedo for a cruise. So you guys can just pull that out of your suitcase and dress right up, or you can go as casual as you like. If you'd like to stay late in port, watch an amazing sunset in Santorini, do it. That is what it's here for. You don't have to play by rules or play by a schedule. In terms of where you're going to be on board, we have a selection of complimentary options, and we have many specialty options as well. Our complimentary options are outstanding. We don't want you to feel like you're eating dinner with 700 of your closest friends in a giant dining room. We want it to be small, intimate, and casual, and we purpose-build our ships around that concept. So we are actually building our ships to make sure that our kitchens are very close by to the restaurants they're serving, and we have curated chefs teams to ensure that experience is going to be phenomenal. We've got main dining rooms, we have a variety of buffets, 24-hour eateries, and we also have room service. But specialty dining is where we really shine. Who's eaten in our specialty restaurants? Half the hands go up by the favorite one? Bistro. Okay. Okay. Has anybody had the new menu at Bistro? You've cruised since the pandemic? Okay. Next time you go, which is going to be soon, we have done a Moroccan spiced rack of lamb in bistro. Oh, it is to die for. We redid the bistro menu during the pandemic. We didn't sit idle. We were actually really busy. It is phenomenal. And that T-bone steak at Cagney's has somehow gotten bigger. So now it basically is a plate and a half to fit. I heard teppanyaki too. Teppanyaki is an excellent time. Has anybody tried Q? Texas Smokehouse? Okay. If you've ever, you were mixed feelings on it?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Okay. Personally, I never expected barbecue on a ship, and I thought it was great. Also, a little insider tip for anybody who likes a good margarita. There is an excellent smoked peach margarita that is only available at Q. Nowhere else on the ship. There's cars you can pop in just for them.
Is that barbecuing as well, considering it's
Q is a bit different on Primo, which we'll talk about, but it's part of the food hall concept. That actual drink will be at different price on Primo. We are going to talk about Primo too, which is exciting. In terms of what we have to offer you guys, we have a huge variety of activities. This is a racetrack in Alaska, because why wouldn't you want that to be? Do you guys know the story behind the racetrack? Some of you? Okay. So our CEO has a grandson, and when he was about 6 years old, he said, "Grandpa, wouldn't it be cool if you had racetracks on your ships?" And now we have racetracks on the ships. So wouldn't it be nice to have a magic wand to wave and have that? We have a phenomenal range of activities. We have so much more than just the racetrack. We have our aqua parks, we have laser tag, and that's family friendly for everyone. Little kids, older kids, the big kids that part in us. We have ropes courses, and we have galaxy pavilions too. That's virtual reality gaming. For any F1 fans in the room, we have a full Formula One simulator car complete with fans. I lost my husband in there for 2 hours. We actually missed a Broadway show because he would not get out of the F1 car. He was having such a great time. Now, I'm a little bit more of a relaxing girl, so these activities are more my speed. You'll find me in the spa. You'll find me at the waterfront. You'll find me probably in hand with a mojito and a great book. I love our waterfront concept, that quarter-mile long promenade on deck 8 that we have. Great place to walk off a big meal. Great place to sit on a patio with a drink, lounge, good book. Just another quieter area in addition to our pool space on the main deck, right? Because it's all about getting to the ocean. That's why we added this. We found the ships were getting so big that you kind of forgot about experiencing the ocean, right? We want you to dine on a patio while you're having that steak at Cagney's and see the sunset. And that's where the waterfront came from. Of course, for the gambler in us all, we have a casino, and we also have great shopping. If you're bringing the kids, great purpose-built kids clubs. We have Splash Academy, we have Guppies, Entourage, the coolest teen lounge at sea. We truly do have an activity for all of the kids that are on board our ships. And for the big kids, our evening entertainment is phenomenal. You guys know about the Broadway shows. You know that we have Jersey Boys, Kinky Boots, Footloose, Choir of Man, Six, the new Henry VIII musical. And new, coming to us, we're going to have Donna Summer musical, which we're very, very excited about. It's not just the Broadway shows. We've also reincarnated half the Beatles. We can bring them back together for the Cavern Club. It's a really great cover band. You do have to squint a little for whatever reason. Ringo is usually pretty young, but they put on a great show. Theme parties, comedians, you name it, we've got it. Howl at the Moon dueling pianos is phenomenal. So until very recently, I would have been up here doing this presentation and telling you that we have 17 ships and we love them all. But we have good news now because we have 18 ships and we've got 6 more coming before 2027. So we're going to be really busy over the next few years. We can also spend about 45 minutes to an hour talking about just the ships and their nuances. Not going to do that today because that's what your Expedia team is here for, to help guide you towards the right itinerary and vacation choice for you guys, and to talk about what makes each ship special. What we're really excited about, the most special of them all right now, is Norwegian Freedom. Feels weird to say, but after what has been a very long 3-year wait, we picked up the keys to Norwegian Prima about 2 weeks ago. She is currently sailing today. They were in Great Britain on the inaugural. Katy Perry, global superstar, performed 2 days ago at the christening in Iceland. It's the first cruise ship to be christened in Iceland. We're excited about this. You can't tell. They look a little bit different, right? The Prima, she looks a little more balcony heavy. It's a bit of a different ship design. This ship is built in Italy, where the remainder of our ships, with the exception of the Epic, have been built in Germany. Prima, in hindsight, was a really great idea. This ship physically is the same size as Norwegian Encore, Joy, Bliss, Getaway, Breakaway. They're all our big ships. But we way back made a conscious decision to put 1,000 less guests on it. So this ship caps out at about 3,000 guests. It is the equivalent of cruising at 75% capacity. If you've cruised coming out of the pandemic, you know how awesome it is when you're at reduced capacity. So everyone will get that. Hindsight's 2020. We had no idea there'd be a pandemic when we ordered these ships, so we just got really lucky. But I love this concept. It's a ship with more space. It's thoughtful design and it really put the guest first. So we talked about the waterfront, that 1/4 mile long waterfront promenade. On the ships we have right now, that's about 20,000 square feet of additional outdoor space. On the Prima class ships, 44,000 square feet of outdoor space. We have heard you guys say that the main pool is not enough, so we are adding pools on deck 8, infinity pools, one on each side, starboard and port. Day beds, loungers, we're extending the space. And at the aft of the ship, for the foodie in us all, me, front and center, we're putting a food hall concept. 11 restaurants, miniaturized, so you can just grab and go what you need. We've got day beds, we've got hammocks, we've got 1,000 places to eat. That is Q Texas Smokehouse right there in the middle on the right. Gotten smaller. The most beautiful Starbucks of all time is right beside it. For those of you who want your caffeine fix and didn't always want to walk to the atrium, I see you over there nodding. We now have 2 Starbucks on board the Prima, so you don't even have to go to the middle of the ship every time. We're gonna have some of our favorites located in this area, and the restaurants you've come to love, Cagney's, the local, all that, that's gonna be back and better than ever, along with some new favorites as well. So lots and lots to see there. So why don't we watch a little video on Prima? Let's all cross our fingers this works and see what happens. Yes.
Introducing Norwegian Prima. First in the new class of ships. Made for the trailblazers and tastemakers. For first-time seekers and explorers of the spectacular. Made for you. With more wide open spaces to enjoy the great wide open. That have more room. And service that puts you first. Be the first to discover a new experience at sea. Norwegian Prima. Coming summer 2022.
And that is now. We made it. We're so excited. So one of these ships every single year. We're going to be really busy. Now there are a couple things that have changed on Prima. For those of you who thought, oh, that racetrack is pretty cool, it's 2 levels, it seems really big. Well, that's good, because now it's 3 levels. If you haven't been on one of the ships with a racetrack, though, it's by no means obnoxious or an obstruction or ruining your holiday by any means. It's actually fully electric, so there's no environmental impact. It's very, very difficult to hear in other areas of the ship. For those of you who are competitive, though, we understand that vroom vroom noise when you floor it is a key to your race success. We have a tiny little speaker behind you, so you get that noise that the rest of the ship has. I know nobody here is competitive, so you know, it's always important. For those who do not want to race but do want to watch, I'm looking at all the parents in the room. We've added a bar, so while you watch the children rip around the racetrack, you can have a drink now. That was a big piece of feedback that we got. For those who are brave and loved our water slides, great news. Now you can do them while wearing all your clothes. These are dry slides. They are a very fast shortcut. They're a very fast shortcut from deck 18 to deck 8. Yeah. So if you don't want to take the elevator or the stairs, this is an option for you, and you can race each other. I personally probably not going to be for me, but you guys can definitely try that out if you are interested. In other words, we're also expanding our virtual offerings. Mini golf has gone virtual, and we've added virtual darts. I actually wanted to have darts for quite some time, but you know, there was a logistical challenge, moving ship, lots of alcohol, pointy objects. So virtual darts addresses that in a number of ways. The Galaxy Pavilion as well is going to be expanding, getting a little bit bigger, and offering multiple escape room options as well. Pool deck looks a little different. You'll notice we've gone very sleek, contemporary, and modern in terms of decor on Prima. We still have our modern and bright, comforting colors. The Haven, wow. On this ship, it is truly a wow. It's moved to the aft of the ship. For those of you, does anyone not know what the Haven is? Always an important question. A couple people. Okay, so the Haven is a ship within a ship concept. So this is exclusive. If you like butler service, concierge service, priority, everything, embarkation, debarkation, you name it, you get access. A gold key card. It's an enclave of 107 to 125 staterooms, depending on the ship. It's located always at the top, usually aft or at the fore, and you have access to a private Haven restaurant that's equivalent to our specialty restaurants. You have access to a private Haven pool, and best of all, you have access to the rest of the ship. But the rest of the ship does not have access to you. So if you want to bring the grandkids and your kids, it's actually a really great idea to put them in a balcony, and then you can visit the grandkids when you want, but when you want peace and quiet, you can head back up to the Haven and have a great time. It is really, really luxurious. It's kind of a step above the regular Norwegian. It allows people to experience a bit more of that upscale experience without sacrificing any of the things. So that's basically what MTL is, but where do we go? We have quite a few destinations. We actually go to all 7 continents, and we've recently released 251 new itineraries. There are ships you can book into 2025. So we have options for you guys. They are all over the place. I'm not going to talk about every itinerary we have because we'd be here all night. Instead, I picked a couple of my favorite destinations to highlight to you guys. Bermuda's number 1. I went for the first time last year. I went out of New York. We depart from downtown Manhattan, or you can go from Boston, depending on the ship. This is an amazing itinerary. You cruise over to Bermuda, it takes about a day and a half, 2 days. That's your all-inclusive time. Sit by the pool, have some great restaurants, play all the game shows in the atrium, you know, do the regular cruise things. Then the ship docks at the Royal Naval Dockyard in Bermuda. Super safe, beautiful beaches, low speed limit, great food, everyone is friendly. You're there for 2.5 days. So the ship's your floating hotel. You can explore, enjoy Horseshoe Bay, and more, whatever you do. Then you cruise back, do a couple extra days in Manhattan, stay and do some Broadway shows. Really, really lovely itinerary, and close to home if you're not venturing too far yet. Alaska. Take the comfort of everything NCL has to offer and put it in Alaska. What a way to see a spectacular bucket list destination. We've got usually 4 to 6 ships sailing in Alaska, depending on the time of year. Go in May, see all the baby animals. Baby bears are cute from a distance. If you want to extend, you can also do a Denali cruise tour. So you can add a 3 or 4 day package on with us. We can get you right into the national park and get you up close, but not too close to all that wildlife. Hawaii. We do this the best. You know, I think NCL is pretty great, but I really got to say we have the Hawaii thing down pat. Every Saturday departure, 7-night itinerary goes from Honolulu. It is the only itinerary that's offered on any cruise line where you will see 4 islands in 7 days. It's over 100 hours in tour. Overnight in Honolulu, in Maui, Hilo, Kona. You cruise past the Nepali coast, which can only be seen from the water or via helicopter. You're also going to go to Kauai. This is a really beautiful itinerary. Another video, cross your fingers. Panning and if you guys go to Hawaii, I need to extract one promise from you guys. You will not just go for 7 days for this itinerary. This itinerary goes from Honolulu, so you're gotta promise me you'll go in a couple days early and stay a couple days after. It's a long flight, make it 2 weeks because you deserve it. It's been a long couple of years, right? We're all chasing that bucket list now. But this is a really, really great way to see many of the islands with minimal effort. Norwegian Prima has a sister ship coming next year, Norwegian Viva. Next summer, Norwegian Prima is going to do Northern Europe itineraries, and Norwegian Viva, which will look the exact same, will do Mediterranean itineraries. This one's one of my favorites. This is a 10-day itinerary starting in Athens, ending in Naples. You've got an overnight in Istanbul. You go to Santorini, Mykonos. You're going over to Messina, so you can get a little bit of Sicily. You'll go up to Villefranche, which is Monaco, get a photo at the Leaning Tower of Pisa, go see Florence, and end in Rome. Really beautiful itinerary. You'll notice on a lot of Norwegian Prima and Viva's itineraries, they're what we call open jaw, which means they start and end in different locations. That's so you can maximize your sightseeing and really customize what you're doing before or after to make it the best trip that you possibly could. Imagine doing this and then staying in a villa in the Florentine Hills for a couple days after and doing some wine tours. That sounds pretty fabulous to me. If you're a Caribbean person, have you been to San Juan? Because you should go. It is a great, great port, and for whatever reason, we have always sent our older ships there, and we're going to put Norwegian Viva there in the winter of 2023. So that's coming soon. The nice thing about starting a cruise in San Juan is if we've got a cold front coming down and you're cruising out of Miami, it could be a little chilly. It could take a couple days to get warm, but you want heat in February, because as nice as it is out there today, we all know what's coming. It's only a few months away before we will be shoveling. That's fair. You can trust me for that. That's completely fair. So this is a great option. Tortola, St. Martin, Antigua, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Thomas. Great itinerary, diverse Caribbean islands. So we can talk itineraries all day, but we're not going to do that. Let's talk about the Freestyle sale and why you guys should consider booking with that sale. So you're actually here in advance of the sale. I don't know if you know that, but the Freestyle sale is September 12th to 18th. We could have done this event on September 11th, and we thought, well, it's a Sunday, and two, how can you possibly choose what you want to do when you have this many itineraries and this many ships to look at? Expedia has a really great relationship with NCL. And through the pandemic, I think it's gotten a lot stronger. We have such great reciprocity in how we work with you guys to make sure you're getting great vacations. You could not be in better hands when you're booking with an Expedia Cruises agent, particularly with this team. Absolutely, this is the best time of year to book. So if it's any other time of year and you were on the ncl.com website, this is what you'd see. This is our offer right now. 40% off all cruises. We're going to give you open specialty dining, an open bar, third and fourth go free in the same stateroom, shore excursion credit, and Wi-Fi. That's pretty great. If you go on the ncl.com website, it'll tell you this is ending tonight. It's on until the end of September. We just do that from up some urgency. Ignore us. Talk to your travel agent, they'll tell you the truth. So that's a great offer. And I mean, it's a value-driven offer, right? We're not all-inclusive, but we are very value-driven. I know we all remember the days of cruising where you get that big bill slipped under your door at the end. We don't want that. We want you to go and have the drinks you want to have the specialty dining, to celebrate the occasions we missed. Take the Instagram photo and share it back with friends and family and be like, wish you were here, should have come. So always something to think about. We will give you these inclusions because we think it makes a better cruise. And that's all what we're here for, right? To make sure that you guys are having a great time on board. But when you book with Expedia Cruises, it's actually even more value. So you get the 40%. You get the free exit, which is the open bar and everything. If you'd like to book with our air program, we have buy one, get one air on the second guest. That being said, I saw many eyebrows go up, and I qualify this, and for the guests at home too. Our air promo has phenomenal pricing, but there are trade-offs. If you like to choose what airline you fly, what time of day you leave, don't book our air promo because there's the trade-off. We'll get you the pricing, you'll get the great flight price, but you might connect, you might not go direct, you might not all fly together, it might not be your preferred airline. So caveats for everyone. I fly on our air promo because I just want to get there, but that's not necessarily for everyone. Plus, don't you want to go a couple days early? You definitely do. So that's what I was talking about that. Oh, and then 50% off reduced deposits. That's the last email as well. So 50% off on our deposits. They're fully refundable right up until final payment. Now, here comes the good offer. Onboard credits. So if you're booking with Expedia Cruises from September 12th to 18th, on any ship and this is a big deal because we never include the new ships, including Norwegian Prima and Norwegian Viva. We're gonna give you guys some deals to write home about. If you book a studio stateroom, an inside stateroom, or an ocean view, $150 per stateroom of onboard credit, and that's in US. If you're booking a balcony or a club balcony, $300 per stateroom. If you're booking a suite or a haven, $500 of onboard credit per stateroom for US. That's a good deal. Use that how you want. Use it to prepay your gratuities. Use it to get a T-bone steak at Cagney's every single night. Use it for shore excursions. It's up to you. Or go endlessly around that racetrack. Go to the spa for a whole day. This is for you guys, right? This is a really, really solid day. But the fact that it includes Prima and Viva, it is, oh, trust me, at one point in mid-2020, we were just about giving away cruises and it still wasn't this good of an offer. So, something to think about. Does anyone have a trip coming up? Or, okay, does anyone have multiple trips coming up? Okay, for all the hands that did. Okay, so I see your problem. You just need to talk to your travel consultant, tell them where to book, what you want, leave them your credit card details, you're off to the races.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you'll come back. And then they went to Greece and their flight was canceled. And at 3 a.m. here, guess who got a phone call? Me, not a travel consultant. I can't help them. They booked through a 1-800 number that went to nowhere.
Oh.
Yeah, so they eventually got there, but they lost a lot of money out of pocket, right? Have a travel consultant. Have someone who's gonna have your back, who's been to the destinations, who can make the recommendations, who can wait on hold for you. That's the joke. I know. I can identify which cruise line is which by the hold music. I'm sure someone else can. So you know what? They're your best advocate, your best resource, and your best friend. So if you don't use a travel consultant, you absolutely should, because they're worth their weight in gold and then some, especially after the last couple. Any other questions? None? I did that good of a job?
We're all sitting here. We're-
Beautiful itinerary with the French Polynesian Hawaii. It's a 12-day. It's a nice mix. It also does a combination of Alaska and Hawaii. Ooh, fire nice. Would be a nightmare to pack for, but would be a great itinerary. Something to consider. Yeah, you got longer, you're fine. Norwegian Sun, which is one of our older ships and had a nice refurbishment, goes to the Canary Islands. And that's not a place that a lot of Canadians go to, but you should. The Canaries are outstanding and the pricing is really great. So if you want something that feels Caribbean-ish, but also Europe-ish, yeah, there you go. Canaries are a great place to go. Anything that Norwegian Viva is doing, I would literally sign up for every itinerary on that ship through the whole of 2023 and 2024, if I could, because it's just the med, back and forth, back and forth. Norwegian Prima, if you wanted to see, I'll get to it in a second. Iceland, Norway, Scotland, Ireland, great itineraries on the Prima. Next summer, she's basically just going back and forth across Europe. And does some really nice coastal stuff too out of New York, touching on Halifax before ending up in Iceland. So beautiful itineraries. Yes, sir.
Great segue, because that's what I was gonna ask you about. We're having a hard time finding any of the excursions
Yes.
on that right
Yes.
now.
When's your cruise go?
We're doing the New York Tyson.
New York to Iceland, departing.
May 14th.
Perfect. So you got a bit of time. Typically, shorts come available about 6 to 3 months prior. It's just because we have to confirm with our local suppliers that it's actually a go. We used to be able to offer it further out, but what's happened just with the pandemic is they wait a little bit closer to confirming. So it'll come. I would just Google generally, like buyatour.com to see what's available. Golden Circle tour. Does yours stop in Actuary by chance?
Actuary is.
Whale watching, 100% in Actuary. You won't regret it. It will be outstanding.
Actually, this is really.
Yeah, you'll have a great time. Iceland is outstanding.
I did back doors through one of the other ones. I was able to kind of-
Yeah.
What it would be off to,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure.
It'll come available. It's just one of those things that's kind of slower coming back.
How many ships run to Hawaii now?
Hawaii is still just one. It's Pride of America. We didn't- So the Spirit doesn't just do just home. So
Oh, okay.
with Hawaii in general, we always have the one ship there, Pride of America, every Saturday, right? Pride of America during the pandemic had a minor refurbishment, so we did all the public areas and we did some of the staterooms. More to come on that, but it's definitely been refreshed. The Spirit, we can't flag just for Hawaii, so she just kind of dances around that coast. And gets into some really unique stuff. Yeah, the Dawn did it 4 or 5 years ago. Fanning Island. Yeah.
When the next year, the Pride of America just came on,
Yeah.
and they had a lot of trouble.
Yes. So interesting comment about Pride of America here. So Pride of America is our ship in Hawaii. She's a little bit different because she never leaves American waters, we're subject to US employment law. So we have to have 80% American staff. There's ways around it. We're working on mitigating some of that, but it does mean the service can sometimes be a little bit lower than what you would experience on any other NCL ship. It just seems to be a phenomenon of support. But realistically, we could probably do with 2 ships in Hawaii-ish, and that's why the Spirit does those kind of hybrid itineraries. What we try to avoid is with a lot of Hawaii itineraries that we see broadly across the industry, you're departing off somewhere on the coast, whether it be Vancouver, Seattle, San Diego, and then you lose 3 days cruising over. We try to avoid that. So if we are going to have Hawaii with something else, we'll do either an Alaska and make it a long itinerary, or we'll pop in the French Polynesia, something like that. Yes,
I'm a fan of back-to-back,
love back.
but in your books,
Mhm.
in fact, there used to be a beautiful legend of where all the ships are going, what
Yes.
date, and you could pretty much pick,
Yes.
you know, why don't they
Why
have
is
it
it not
anymore?
there? It's probably going to come back. It's a COVID thing.
Oh,
What we came into is we were printing brochures with beautiful itineraries down the back, and then they would change 4 days later.
right.
Is port availability is still a little fluctuating. Like, for anyone cruising in the near term, you may see some fluctuations in port. It is a faucet of COVID regulations, how many ships are allowed to be in port, staff shortages, it all just combines.
That was pretty
It'll
handy,
come back.
it's a good thing to have.
There is something similar which is available to your agents called the Sales Pal, which lists every single departure that we have, and you can sort by ship and by sail date, so you can kind of get an idea.
Okay.
It just doesn't list specific itineraries, so you can see, there's a Bermuda one here, and then the ship's in Port Canaveral, so you know you can back to back.
Yeah,
Yes.
Key West Port. This has been removed.
I was just there in March. So Key West is available on certain ships, it's just not one that can accommodate more than 2 ships at a time, so it's harder for us to get further there.
So if it was on our itinerary.
Oh, was it
now
not?
it's been taken off.
It might have just been a birthday conflict from the Port Authority, and then we don't bump it.
So now it's just missing, so we lost that.
Yes, yeah, so your port taxes and fees would have been refunded for that specific port. So you're probably just outside of final payment? Yeah, you have to do that. Anyone else? Yes.
okay, this is like housekeeping or
Yeah,
something.
no,
but,
let's keep it quick.
You know when you book a cruise and then you picked it because you like the ports.
Yes,
And then you find out that.
the ports
okay,
are gone.
Gone.
Yes.
you don't mind one or, one or something, but there were some that I've been on that, I wanted to go up
I
on
know,
that particular port so bad. And
I
then,
know.
and I get it, I get why it happens, but I don't know, it's just something
I
that, when you pick, like, say, 3 years ahead, let's say I
Yeah.
wanna go on the Viva next
Yes.
year or whatever. And then you pick it and then the ports are gone.
And suddenly you're going to Iceland on Viva. No, I know. It is, you know what, it's a pain point. I agree with you, and it's feedback I can certainly pass on, because the more of that we get, the
Yeah,
better it is, frankly. What is difficult about the port changes, though, is like I said, it is sometimes out of our control. If it's right before, it's usually a weather thing or a traffic thing where they just can't get ports, or staffing thing.
mhm.
Further out right now, there's a lot of COVID regulations that are very cruise specific that are still out there. And how many ships can be in port, if there's berthing conflicts, if they even have the staff capacity to work, and that can cause things to get up really last minute. If you're outside of final payment, you can always cancel a rebook. I understand it's a pain though when you're in final and you're excited about the
Yeah,
ship.
yeah.
But it is one of those things, it's a pro and a con, right, with cruising, because same as if you were to encounter a hurricane. That's
Well-
fine, we can just drive away from the hurricane, where you're all inclusive, you'd be stuck in your hurricane.
Yeah.
So on one hand, it's great that we can make changes, but pros and cons.
Good point, yeah.
I understand the pain point though. Yes,
I would text her.
perfect.
She's booked on NCL, they have 4 cabins next September. She wants to know, and I know what the answer is, but I'm gonna ask if some people are thinking about the new sale coming up. They would have to completely cancel what they
Yes.
have and rebook and they lose what they have.
Yeah, so if you have an existing booking and you really like the look of this onboard credit, you would have to cancel your existing booking if you're under final payment and rebook. That could work out really well for you if the pricing is stayed the same, or even if the pricing is dropped, because then you pick up onboard credit. But if your sailing has skyrocketed in price, then that may not be worth the draw for you. It's a pros and cons. Same with this. Think about what cabin you'd want to stay in, right? Because there was different amounts for that onboard credit depending on what cabin category you're in. If you book an inside stateroom now and you're saying, okay, $150 of onboard credit's fine, and then right before final payment, you go, oh, I really love a balcony. If you switch that out and go to a balcony, that effectively reprices your reservation and the onboard credit falls off.
Oh.
Yes. So make sure you know what stateroom category you're happy with and cruising with. If you think a balcony is definitely what you want, and maybe it's a little bit out of reach, that onboard credit is going to offset some of that for you and is going to make that really worthwhile, right? With $300 of onboard credit. So something to consider.
We've never cruised before.
Oh, you should.
So we had a question.
Yes.
Okay, if you dock it out of place and then for Hawaii, for example, we had to choose like this island.
Mhm.
Where do we eat?
Up to you. So you can come back eat on the ship if you'd like, and use the ship as your floating hotel, do complimentary dining, specialty dining. If you're in port overnight, you're more than welcome to hop off and do local restaurants if you want as well.
And what about we are interested in Eurasia Flora?
Yeah.
The one that you we used to go.
Yeah,
There, do you have any days that are
on the ship,
No, not on the ship.
completely off.
Yeah, are we staying in some islands there?
So we don't do any overnights on those itineraries, but they're very port intensive. So you get 11 ports in 10 days. And then if you want to stay somewhere, I absolutely recommend stay 2 days before or after, wherever you're starting and ending your cruise. Promise me you won't fly in the same day. That goes for all of you. Nobody fly in the day of your cruise, especially with airlines the way they are right now. Okay, good, solid promise. You're all going to Hawaii for 12 days and no one's flying in the day of. We're establishing things. Am I paying? I wish. Great rewards program.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Expedia rewards program is pretty great too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, if you talk to your consultant about Expedia dollars, I can't speak confidently to that, so I'm not going to, but wink, wink, next time, talk to these guys. They're pretty great. Yes,
Okay, so we're using the air,
yes.
through the NCL, and I don't have the air yet, I'm assuming it's gonna be one of those things.
When are you going?
November 26th.
Okay, so you'll get it about 30 to 35 days in advance right now.
Okay,
Did you do a deviation, so you weren't flying in the same day, then you'll be arriving on the day of the ship.
okay, so if the flight gets delayed or something happens.
Talk to the airline ASAP and tell them we need to make a ship departure. I'm leaving, say, 3 o'clock that day. What can they reaccommodate you on? We also have a flight assistance hotline where we'll do our best to help reaccommodate you. with airline schedules being as influx as they are right now, there are situations where you may have to catch up to the ship, depending on what schedule.
So what does catching up with the ship means at that point?
At the next port.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is that the airline would send me there if I book?
Ideally, so you'd work with the flight assistance hotline, and then you would also talk to the airline and see what your options are, right? Because there are situations, not good ones, but there are situations right now where scheduling is so reduced from the airline perspective that there are no flights to catch you up. So in that case, travel insurance is your best friend.
Is that-
Covered with you guys.
We will book the flight for you guys, but there is no promise that we will catch you up to the ship. We will do our absolute best to get you there, but there is no promise on it.
What about the ones that the flights?
In what situation?
Well, we booked a cruise and the flight was included.
And the buy one, get one air?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would not be covered. That would be one of the situations, that's what we were just talking about. So if you're booking under our airline program, we'll book the flights for you, but there's no guarantee that you'll make it. We will do our absolute best to get you there, but with what's happening with the airlines, the schedule changes and everything being in flux, it can be a really difficult thing, so definitely have travel insurance or fly in. It's an optional add to add to your cruise.
The flight was there, plus the other person. It says one person pays, the other person pays free.
Yeah, that's an option. So you don't have to take our air. So when you see our air program offered, that is an option for you to evaluate. So if you would like the buy one, get one air pricing, you can certainly do that. It's a nominal deal. And it will let you deviate it in 2 days either direction. So you go 2 days early, 2 days later, completely up to you. But
No, I was just saying, okay,
Oh.
I was gonna ask you that. If
Yeah, so
were
you can
able to
deviate.
take- Yeah,
2 days in either direction, which
okay.
isn't enough always. I like to go in a little, like, I personally love a week before I get on a cruise, right? Because then you get your runs and you get on a cruise, but that's personal preference.
But you can't book your flight.
No, so then you would be doing different air. Yeah, like I said, guys, our air promo is a really great offer, but it's not well suited to everybody. It depends on your personal travel style and what you guys like to do. If you like to go in early, that's always an option. If you like to know exactly what airline, make sure you're flying direct, all those things, then that may mean that it's not a best fit for you. But it's completely up to you at the end of the day. It's there if you want to add on to your cruise, great pricing, but there are trade-offs to it.
And how long does it take for you to get, like, we had asked you about the confirmation and stuff?
So air is currently assigned at about 30 days prior to your cruise, just because of the amount of schedule changes from airlines. We don't want to send you 9 different flight confirmations. Yes.
I'm trying to put that in.
Oh, that's okay, it's all right.
How do we know how much these cruise?
So that's where you want to talk to your travel consultant. And they'll talk to you about various options. So what type of stateroom you want to stay in, specific itineraries, time of year you want to go. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But booking from the 12th to the 18th of September is a really great idea. So you're getting that chunk of onboard credits maximum. Any other questions, or just from the internet audience? Okay. Yeah.
So I might have missed this because I'm reading, if we book
Yes,
between that
12th to the 18th.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how far ahead I book, like
Nope.
I could book a cruise 2 years from now,
2025.
and I can book 4 more.
Yes. Yes, you can book as many cruises as you like. That's a great question. From the text message audience.
The Pride,
Yeah.
my client just went on a Pride
Yeah.
2 months ago, and she said a lot of the restaurants, and bars were closed.
Yes, so that's a
Is that
specific check.
improving?
It is improving. So you
Okay.
know how we talked about Pride of America, Sales Hawaii, predominantly American staff. Right now, to ensure the guest experience, because we've had trouble like everyone else in getting enough staff for that ship, it's capped at 50% occupancy and certain restaurants are closed. Actually makes for a great guest experience in a lot of ways because you're at 50% occupancy and the ship is not full. It's improving. All right, so if that's all the big questions, we can always take stuff up offline. I'll be hanging around for a little bit, but I know the internet audience probably wants to get back to drinking their wine, and some of you guys may want to as well. So I'll pass it
Exactly,
to Diane.
exactly. So let's wave to everybody in all our parts, say goodnight. Thank you for joining us.